My name is Victoria Lort. I am a member of the Greater Coachella Valley Chamber Regional Board of Directors. I'm also a part of the Chamber's Legislative Committee, and in my daytime job, I work for Coachella Valley Water District as the Government and Regional Affairs Coordinator. I want to welcome everybody to GCV Educates. I think this might look a little bit better here for everyone. So GCV Educates is an educational webinar series for business owners, managers, and professionals. And each Educates program lasts approximately about an hour. And these events are sometimes hosted in person, sometimes hosted virtually. And today's event is being held virtually. So thank you everyone for signing on. And as a matter of housekeeping, this presentation is being recorded and will be posted online later with all registered attendees. So today's presentation, we are talking about internships, a creative way to staff your open positions. And the Chamber knows that the biggest challenges facing businesses today is staffing. It's tough to fill all of our open positions. And so we're bringing you a new and creative way of doing just that. And so this different way of finding more staff is also a great way in investing in a next generation of workforce, as well as our local community. Our webinar today includes two guest presenters with information and resources that you can immediately use. And after this presentation is done, we will be sending you, as mentioned earlier, a copy, a video of this presentation, as well as any slide materials and other things discussed today. And so, as mentioned, you will see that this is being recorded, so please go ahead and accept the record if you have not already, that you would see on your end. And then also we are really encouraging that you participate with any Q&As or questions that you may have. So on your screen, you'll see the Q&A button right next to the chat or the participants possibly. And so just go ahead and submit your questions using that tool. And after the end of each presentation, we'll do our best to answer as many as we can, and also possibly during the presentations, if it's something that we can address at that time. And so with that, let me stop sharing my screen so we can get a great introduction of our panelists. So today's speakers are Leslie Salgado of the Indio Youth Opportunity Center and Ana Hernandez with College of the Desert. These ladies represent two local internship programs that any business can use. Ladies, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. We're doing great.
Good morning, Victoria, and thank you for having us, and thank you, Greater Coachella Valley Chamber, for allowing us to join you guys this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you guys very much for all coming in today and allowing us to speak to you about some of the great ideas and opportunities we have for you guys.
Perfect. Well, we are happy that you accepted the invitation. So before we go straight into your presentations and about your respective programs and what we can offer our local business community, I first wanted to talk about in generals what internships are. In general terms. And I think a lot of us, sometimes we don't really understand what that means and how that can be utilized. So let's take a quick second and talk about that. So how would you describe what an internship is? And Leslie, I'll start with you first. What should we know?
So what I believe an internship is it's an opportunity for, whether it be a student and a person seeking employment to really utilize a work site and try to get hands-on experience in whatever field that it is, really get on the job training, something that's more real life, something that can't be really taught in a classroom. You're learning the fundamentals in a classroom and like in that field, but this is really, day in, day out, what it truly is like to be in the field of what you're wanting to do. So whether that be paid, unpaid, whether it be through, through a school or other resources, I believe that's a little bit what an internship is. Opportunity for the youth or whoever to learn some trades and tasks along the way.
Awesome. Thank you, Leslie. And Anna, how would you describe what an internship is?
Pretty similar to what Leslie just mentioned. Internships are temporary jobs that provide candidates exposure to a particular career. Interns are often college students, but they can also include all older adults who may be changing careers or wishing to enhance their skill set in a particular industry sector. As Leslie mentioned, they're both paid and unpaid, but they're both extremely beneficial to both the intern and also companies who end up hiring them. Additionally, internships are a great way for educational institutions like College of the Desert to meet the demands of our economy and our industry sectors that contribute to the success and vitality of our community here in the Coachella Valley, which then leads to economic mobility.
Great, those were some really great explanations. And I think the next question will also help us better dive into the world of internships. Are they paid? Are they unpaid? And if they are paid internships, who pays for them? And so Anna, I'll start with you on this one.
Absolutely, that's a great question, Victoria. As previously mentioned, internships can be paid or unpaid. For us, for paid positions, it's typically the employer who pays for the internship. And the internship would actually fall under the employer's payroll. When I meet with employers, I personally advocate for paid internships for our students. However, we are also understanding that perhaps some agencies, especially our nonprofits, may not have the budget in a particular fiscal year to be able to fund or pay for an internship, especially right now during this pandemic. And in such cases, some of our agencies we have partnered with in the past may be able to seek on their own other forms of funding, such as perhaps a grant, or maybe perhaps working with one of their own donors in the community, that they can also partner with our College of the Desert Foundation to fund a particular internship through a scholarship. And that's just one of the ways that we can definitely collaborate together.
Awesome. And Leslie, how about for the Indio Youth Center?
So for the Indio Youth Center, we do offer a paid internship program. It's paid for by us. We work with the Riverside County EDA office, and under the WIOA Title I is where we get our funds to for the payroll and all that for our interns.
Great. And then one last question before we dive really into more detail about your respective programs. So the way that I am understanding what we've already kind of discussed, hiring an intern, it sometimes is less of a burden for us as employers, because the internship coordinator, yourselves, they would help manage the payroll, workers' compensation, and also help kind of facilitate that interview and hiring process. Am I understanding that right? Or can you explain to those participating today some of the benefits that they might get, or they might be saving themselves some of the hassle and liability associated with hiring versus hiring a brand new employee? I'm leaving this one open, whoever wants to jump in.
Okay, with the benefits of having a paid internship or an internship and us kind of being the facilitators of everything, I know in the Indio Wind Center in particular, we help a lot with the employers with the whole onboarding process. So we work with the youth, we help them complete their W-4s, their I-9s, their ready to work documents. If there's any additional certifications or background checks, drug tests, or anything like that that the company may need, we do provide the payment for that. So for example, if you're working with the daycare, you know that we're going to need some TB tests, we're going to need background checks because you're going to be working with little kids and things like that, a live scan, or even food handler's card. You know, we prepare all of that before the intern even starts, so that when they're ready for their first day, everything's taken care of on employer standpoint. So make sure that their I's are dotted and T's are crossed, and the same for us.
Great. That's really helpful information. Anna?
Thank you, Victoria. On our end at College of the Desert, it works a little bit differently, but just with the same end result. We don't technically engage in actual job placement process of our student candidates. We definitely allow our employers to have full leverage on who they wish to hire and bring on as an intern. However, we do provide an extensive array of resources available to our student population to help them adequately prepare for an interview or that particular internship, whether it's resume writing, workshops, and I'll dive a little bit more into that in my presentation. But we also assist employers with promoting those internship opportunities in different avenues to promote equal employment opportunity, diversity, and inclusion for all of our students as a whole. In the event that the internship is unpaid, we do ask that our employers do follow our current semester dates so that our students can enroll in one of our work experience courses. And that's how we actually funnel all of our internship opportunities that we are aware of through the enrollment of the work experience course, not only to allow students to earn academic credit, but also to provide the student liability protection while interning during the semester if the internship is unpaid. And of course, some of the benefits for our employers are, you have a future pool of potential employees. You have increased visibility here on our campus and on our job board. You can also test drive in a short period of time a potential candidate with minimal cost to your agency as well. And you can also bring new talent, ideas, innovative ways that essentially increases your productivity within whatever internship opportunity you provide.
Great. Well, ladies, thank you so much for answering those questions. I think it does give us a little bit more clarity and understanding of what internships are. And this is actually, a huge resource for our businesses, all businesses, but especially here in the Coachella Valley. So many businesses are struggling to staff open positions right now. And it seems that connecting these businesses or organizations with internship programs like yours might give any business direct access to a ready workforce who might be wanting to gain that experience. And in addition, businesses can also sometimes save themselves the time and hassle of job postings, arranging interviews, coordinating, the workers' comp insurance and payroll, depending on the program. As we heard, both of you operate yours a little differently. But your programs do simplify all of that, and they connect them with great people who could potentially also join their business permanently. And so to better understand how that's possible, we've invited both of you to speak about your specific organizations and your programs and what you do to connect local talent with local jobs. We've already heard a little bit how both your programs differ slightly, but you both have a pool of great candidates at the ready looking for that experience. And so I'm going to give each of you about 15 to 20 minutes to give a presentation on an overview, and then we'll get into some of the Q&A with our audience at the end. And just a reminder for our participants to go ahead and ask those questions in the Q&A, and as we are able, we'll go ahead and answer them. And if time allows, after each presentation, and if not, at the very end, we'll take all questions. So first up, we have our guest speaker, Leslie Salgado, who will talk about the paid internship program that the Indio Youth Opportunity Center has to offer. Leslie, take it away.
All righty, thank you so much. Hopefully everybody can see this very well. Okay. So my name is Leslie. I am the Employer Relations Specialist here at the Indio Wind Center. And a little bit about what we do here. We are a youth opportunity program. We help ages 16 to 24 with gaining work experience. We help them with a paid internship. Aside from that, we're kind of like an all-in-one shop. So typically what happens is, our mission is that we want to help develop our participants' core academic skills, technical employment skills, as well as overall life skills. We do this by conducting workshops with the youth, whether it be in career exploration, financial literacy, mock interviewing, and just these different types of workshops that are going to help youth be able to navigate in the workforce and to be successful as they're in this transitionary period of their life. We're their mentors. We're here for any other additional resources that they may need. Childcare, we have connections with local daycares and programs that are able to help with that. So we kind of do it all here. What we like to instill in our youth is when they come in that door, you know, they might not have a plan for what they want to do. They might have an idea of how to get where they want to be, but, you know, they come to us, they have an idea of what they want to do, and we're the ones that are going to help them get on that right path to make sure that they're meeting their goals and kind of going in their timeline as you know, quickly as possible and helpful as possible. So you know, some of the things we ask is if they're a high school graduate. If they're not a high school graduate, we all know as an employer that a lot of requirements are going to be a high school diploma, you know, to make them a little bit more marketable. So we help them enroll back into a continuation school, get them back enrolled into like CV adult school or SciTech, some of our charter schools that we work with, to ensure that they get their educational goals, and then additionally work with their career goals. So we do a little bit of career exploration. We have a team that is myself, which is the employer relations specialist. So I do a little bit of the work experience and the whole internship aspect of it. But we also have our talent development specialists that are their mentors and their career coaches who kind of help them navigate through that journey that they're looking for. We have an outreach and intake specialist. So that person's going to be the go-to when it comes to getting the eligible documents for being enrolled in our program. So once they meet with their career coach and have done all the intake process, the career coach is going to sit with them and develop a plan. They're going to have them do some workshops. They're going to have them, you know, do mock interviewing and just kind of make them all ready for entering the workforce. We do credentials such as guard card certifications, Microsoft, customer service, and hospitality. We also do an entrepreneurship for those who are interested in wanting to start their own business. We have a couple different courses that help them through that. Some of the educational goals, like I said, we want to make sure that with being in our program that we're helping them obtain their high school diploma if they haven't already, or we're helping them get prepared to get into college or transitionary school or trade schools and things like that. Occupational goals is to gain new skills. We want them to come here. Some of them have had previous jobs before. Some of them have never worked before, you know, so whether that be they are working as a cashier somewhere and kind of want to learn how to get into the medical office, we help them navigate a path that's going to be successful for them. Some of them want to make a career switch. They tried it out and didn't necessarily like what they were doing, and now they're kind of back at square one. Well, we're the person and the people that are going to help you get back on that right track. Some of them are kind of stuck in limbo between just an entry-level employee and want to take that next step into leadership. So we help them with you know, what it's going to be like if they need to get any credentials or if they need to get any certain certificates that are going to help them get to that next step is what we help do. So what I'm here to talk about mostly is going to be the work experience program. So with the Indio Win Center, once the youth has been enrolled, they've done and completed all of their workshops and all of their career goals, essentially. We help them and we refer them to the work experience program. The work experience program is a paid internship for, it starts at 160 hours with the extension of 250. So a max hours of 250 hours of paid internship. They can do full-time, part-time. It really just depends on what the worksite needs are. So what I do is I meet with employers and I say, you know, how can we help you better staff your employment, your office? They let me know the schedule. We talk about onboarding processes, you know, the skills that it's going to really take to work in a field such as that. what they're looking for in candidates. And we kind of, as we're moving along with our youth in our program, we're making these connections with employers. We're getting them ready to, you know, mold them into what the worksite would need them to do. We help with job retention. So I know a lot of the paid internships, since it is 250 hours, it does go by fairly quickly if you are working a full-time schedule, the 40 hours a week. And there is no obligation for any of our partners or any of our work sites to hire on directly after the internship program. Once the youth has completed their hours, if there is an open position and you would like to refer them to that open position, they are more than welcome to apply to that. If there isn't any open position, we would hope that they did the good job and left a great impression with you guys so that they'd be able to maybe use you as a reference for a stepping stool into the next goal or, you know, career choice that they may have. Additionally, if your staff is needing help with having postings that have been open for a while, you can reach out to me and I'm more than happy to do job fairs and hosting events for you guys so that you guys can get staff, you know, get your staff ready to go. Aside from that, our program does a lot of life coaching, professional and personal development and life skills training, life coaching. We help with the network with a lot of people. So like I said, if, you know, childcare is a barrier, we help them with getting funding for their children or finding a daycare that's going to match their needs, all kinds of things like that. Additionally, we offer support services. So a lot of our youth, I didn't mention earlier, so within the 16 to 24 age group, a lot of these people have faced barriers in their life, whether it be homelessness, foster care, in and out of the criminal justice system, high school dropouts, parenting youth, pregnant youth. You know, a lot of them haven't really had things in their favor to make them a little bit more marketable, or they have these barriers that they face that give them that challenge that is harder to get into certain positions or things like that. But some of the support services that we offer, for example, if we have youth that are in need of interview clothes or uniform clothes, we help pay for that. If they're having transportation issues, they don't have a car or reliable transportation, we offer bus passes, gas cards to ensure that the participant can get there to their job daily and that they're in good hands. We offer with educational assistance. So say somebody wants to do medical and they want to go into medical school, we help them find schools, apply to them. We can help with the cost of FAFSA and scholarship applications, tuition fees, partial books, things like that. For example, with the employment requirements, if the worksite is requiring them to have a guard card certification, if they're going to be a security guard, we offer those credentials. We pay for the course for them to complete their hours so that prior to that worksite, they already have their guard card and they're ready to go. If they need a food handler's card, we help with that. If they need a live scan or a background check that, you know, the employers need in order for the youth to be successful there, we provide the cost or we front the cost for that. And you know, just anything that the youth needs, we are the one-stop shop for all of their needs. So the steps to success to being in our program, we first conduct an orientation with every single youth that walk into the building, letting them know what the intake process is. We'll do some eligibility forms since we are Riverside County funded. We have a couple documents that we would need for their enrollment. Once we've determined their eligibility and they're good to go into our program, they meet with their career coaches. We start with their career plan. You know, they want to do electric. We help them every step of the way. We set their goals. We let them know the network of people to reach out to or what kind of service industries we have in the Coachella Valley that are going to be able to, you know, employ them or what's, you know, really out there. We help them with that. We conduct their workshops, so mock interviewing. You know, you'd be surprised at how many people don't know how to interview or what a resume looks like or what a cover letter looks like. And some of these, you know, on applications are, you know, being in an employer field, you see someone doesn't have a cover letter, it could be an automatic disqualification of their application. So we really expand on the importance of following direction when it comes to application. So we get them familiar with Indeed, we get them familiar with the application process. Then once they've completed everything that they need to complete, we do their work experience program. Once they've completed those hours and have finished the program, we do offer a year of follow-up services. So say everything went great at the work site, the work site hired them on directly after. That's awesome. That's our main goal. That's what we want, but we understand that that might not be feasible for everybody. So my goal as employment retention is to ensure that when they're done with their hours, even before they're done with their hours, that they have a place to go, or we're already thinking about steps A, B, C, and D, and having those applications and those interviews ready so that it's a seamless transition. We do that for a year. We help them, we send them to job fairs, or we send them any job leads that we have throughout that year, just to ensure that they are consistently engaged in the workforce. And, you know, we understand that things might change, you know, careers might change, or, you know, you might not have wanted to go to school before, and after being in the field for a little bit, you want to go back. You know, that's what our program is destined for, is just being that one-stop shop for them. And pretty much just whatever they need us to do, we're their support system. A lot of people that we come across on a daily basis don't have that support system at home, or they don't have the resources to be able to do what they want to do. Some of them don't know what is available out there. So that's kind of our goal, is to be their cheerleader, to be their mentor, to be the person that they can confide in, that's going to look out for them and take care of them, and, you know, just make this a safe space for them. And that's pretty much a little bit about what we do here at the Indio Wind Center. So I'm open to any questions that anybody has. And yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, Leslie. I'm not seeing any questions come up in the chat, at least for right now. And so I think we'll just segue straight into Anna, and then should any questions come up, we'll take them all at the end. I do know both of your programs are slightly different, and so I think hearing Anna's presentation too might help with those questions. So Anna, go ahead, take it away. Anna Hernandez from College of the Desert. Oh, and actually, I'm so sorry. Thank you, Leslie. That was a really good presentation. I did not know about the Indio Youth Center and all of the services that you offered, and in helping, you know, our youth getting to jobs and internships. I think you kind of help also fill and address a gap. And so that was really great to hear about.
Thank you.
Anna, go ahead.
Thank you, Victoria. Are you guys able to see my screen okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. Well, again, welcome everyone. Thank you for allowing me to present this morning. Rather than giving you guys because every conversation is going to be tailored a little bit different for every single employer based on what their agency needs may be. I figured I'd give you guys more or less a scope of what are some considerations when you guys are thinking of perhaps establishing an internship pipeline with us. I wanted to officially announce we are now officially open in person here at College of the Desert. My office is located inside the Career and Workforce Solutions Center, Palm Desert campus. We're located in the administration building, room 5 or 6. The picture there that you guys see is our Fountain of Knowledge. That building to the right is actually the administration building. So hopefully that gives you guys a good landmark to locate our administration building, and hopefully stop by one of these days. In addition to myself, we have some wonderful staff in our Career and Workforce Solutions Center. Myself, I'm one of the work experience instructors. I also coordinate our work experience program, which typically averages anywhere from 100 to 250 students per semester enrolled in the program. We also have our administrative assistant, Sandy Lydeen. We have 2 career counselors that right now they are tag teaming, offering assistance to our students both in person and still virtually as well. And of course, Stacy Williams, our center specialist, as well as Sarah Bennett. And I apologize, not listed on here, but part of our engagement, employer engagement is also through our job developer, Janie Bark, who also assists with our PACE program, which is an extension of our not-for-credit programs here at College of the Desert as well. So before I get into the nitty-gritty of the internships and our work experience program, which actually funnels the internships at COD, I wanted to give you guys more or less an overview of the services that are available to all of our students as part of their free tuition with College of the Desert. Of course, we offer career counseling, we offer multiple workshops, information sessions, career panels, and connecting students to professionals out in the community. Our resource room is now open to our students as well. And myself, along with our career counselors, our faculty members, and also our job developer, we all take some sort of role in employer engagement when we're out in the community. So all of those little pieces end up coming to our career center. In addition to those services, we also provide program informational sessions. If you guys can see on that screen, we will be hosting a virtual career and job fair coming up March 17th. Our contact information for the Career Center is listed there. And I believe you guys will be receiving a follow-up email with some additional links, which I have asked Vanessa and Victoria to send out to you guys on how you can register now for that virtual career fair, so you guys have an opportunity to promote those opportunities you currently have available. 2 additional employer resources that I invite you guys to take advantage of. If you guys don't already have access to our job board, I definitely encourage you guys to create your free employer account, which is the codjobhub.com free login. You don't have to pay for the membership, just simply select College of the Desert as your institution, and that'll give you an opportunity to post any job opportunity that you might have available. It could be paid volunteer positions, part-time, full-time, you name it. You can definitely use that platform to be able to engage with students looking for those job opportunities. In addition to another employer resource, our Career Center offers Career Connections at COD, which is a series designed to bring employers and students together virtually. And you guys, as the employers, have an opportunity to share information about your agency, what your current openings may be, possibly even meet some of our students, and even identify a potential candidate, all within a virtual setting, safe environment for our students. And we definitely encourage you guys to schedule your Career Connections at COD event for the spring semester as well. I believe we have quite a few dates available. And with our follow-up email, I'll definitely connect you guys with our Career Center specialist so you guys can coordinate that meeting time. Now, moving on to, you guys are probably wondering, how do we establish an internship? And there's many different factors that take into place, or even to consider whether offering an internship might be the right fit for your agency. First, as I mentioned earlier, we're focused on what your agency needs are. When I meet with employers out in the community, that's really what my main focus is identifying what those needs are and meeting you guys where you're at that particular moment. We identify if this particular position does meet the Fair Labor Standards Act test. I'm sure you guys may be familiar with it, but we identify it as well because, again, keep in mind internships do have to be an educational experience. What's the weekly time commitment? Typically, as you mentioned, both Leslie and I, internships are short-term experiential learning opportunities for our students, but for the most part, our internships match our 16, 12, and 8-week terms available. The 8-week term is typically offered during the summer, but the 16 and the 12-week session are for spring and for fall semester. And of course, we've already talked a little bit about what a paid or unpaid internship looks like. One item that I do want to emphasize again is that if it's an unpaid internship, that particular intern does have to follow our semester dates and also be enrolled in our work experience course for liability protection. That enrollment piece is pretty important. Oftentimes students don't realize that, but that's why we're having these conversations with our employers, so that way we can work together to inform our students and make sure that they have that extra layer of protection. And of course, when you're thinking of establishing an internship pipeline, there's got to be a supervisor or a mentor at the job site. We encourage the agency to also provide our office with the detailed weekly or monthly tasks or objectives related to a specific educational program that they would like to target. Because again, we have tons of different programs offered here at College of the Desert. We also have what we call an employer intern request form that we recently started implementing in our work experience office, which has allowed us to identify information about what the actual intern request is, and also that we utilize that to then follow up with each of our employer partners on a semester basis to then communicate, hey, summer term is coming up. Are you looking for another intern for the summer term? Oh, hey, fall semester is coming up. Let's go ahead and start preparing. And of course, I've already mentioned, create your COD Job Hub account to expand your recruitment. You have the leverage to interview and select your own candidates, because you will know who your team is, what the dynamics of your team are as well. So you have that leverage to identify who you want to bring on board as an intern candidate. And of course, we do ask that you connect the intern that you have selected back to our work experience office so that we can assess them for the course enrollment of the work experience course, and then they get to start the internship. So after they go through that process of course, having taking advantage of the resources, they're ready for an internship, they have applied, they have secured that internship, we assist them in enrolling in the work experience program. Well, what's next, right? So for the students that participate in our work experience program in an internship, they have the opportunity to earn college credit while they're interning with you. And not just internships. We also have students that may have already a regular job and they want to earn college credit. So then they enroll in our work experience program to earn college credit. They might be volunteers. Or perhaps they might work here on campus or part of our federal work study program as well. So we have an array of different student populations that participate in our program. But just to let you guys know, we do have 30+ transfer degrees, 40+ associate's degrees that are strictly employment focused for our students, and over 70 different certificates. And we like to call them stackable certificates because as students are working through those small certificates, they're actually building on to their actual degree program. Our work experience program is offered in over 40 different disciplines offered here at College of the Desert. And some of them are actually listed here on the slide. And the bottom one, you might see general work experience. And that one's typically for our students that might have a job placement that does not directly align with their educational goal, they can still participate in a work experience course to earn academic credit if that's the case, and we assist them with that process as well. So when we're talking about the work experience program and how those internships are going to look like, once you have an intern placed at your agency, they are actually also participating in the work experience course, which is a regular course that they enroll in. They are earning academic credit, but it's not their traditional class. And the reason why I say that is because they're only meeting a total of 4 times throughout the semester. However, they are receiving mentoring and coaching, as Leslie mentioned, as part of their work experience program. We have a similar concept in that sense that they receive coaching and mentoring from a subject matter expert in their field, depending on which work experience course they ended up enrolling in. Students are introduced if they're not familiar with the concept of creating SMART goals. For those of you that are familiar with the acronym, are not familiar with the acronym, which stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely goals. That's really what we really want students to come out of the work experience course knowing how to create goals. They work on those 3 goals throughout the semester. And in addition to those 3 goals, they are also working on these 10 different soft skills. So employers, how many times have we addressed or talked about the skills gap? Here they are. We expect our students to exemplify these 10 different soft skills. In addition to that, we are now offering as a college employability skills courses related to adaptability, collaboration, digital fluency. And those courses are offered in, they're only 2 weeks long, completely online. So they're available to just about anyone. They can be offered in credit or non-credit format. And just to let you guys know, non-credit courses are completely free to students. So just keep that in mind. I am meeting with some of our employers to actually offer those employability skills courses as professional development for their employees. So that's something that we are working as a college as well. And of course, throughout the course, I've already mentioned the ongoing coaching and mentoring of a faculty advisor. The students do receive an end of semester evaluation from their supervisor. And we also receive ongoing feedback from the job site on how that internship looked like for that particular intern. Were they the right fit? What could we have done differently? What can we coach the student in addition to what they were able to learn during that experiential learning opportunity? And of course, some of the benefits to our students, I'm not going to go through every single one, but I really would like to focus on the last one, which is it really helps students become more marketable and better employees. Well, the reason for that is because they are working on 3 expanded new goals within their job placement. Oftentimes students mention through their reflection papers at the end of the course that having worked on those 3 additional goals has allowed them to become more marketable, be more self-aware. Maybe they were considered for an actual promotion or raise. If they were interns, many of our interns have gone from having an internship to an actual job offer within the same agency. So having that partnership, having that coaching and mentoring from our employers and our faculty advisors to our students really truly does make a big difference. And I just wanted to share with you guys some of our wonderful current internship employer partners. I believe I saw one of our attendees from the Living Desert. Thank you so much for providing those opportunities to our students. But of course, we also have, just to name a few, City of Calimesa, Whitewater Preserve, our city of Indio. We now have a political science tailored internship with our city of Desert Hot Springs. KESQ has been a huge contributor to our internship success. Of course, Palm Springs Live, and definitely, but not last but not least, our One Future Coachella Valley, where we have some of our interns placed as well. All right, my contact information's here. I definitely encourage you to reach out to me so we can have a meeting to tailor our conversation based on what your agency needs are. Again, we have multiple programs available at College of the Desert, and we definitely want to kind of just start there on what the needs are, and then we can kind of just have you onboarded as well. I'm not sure if we have any questions on the chat. I'll take a look.
We do have one from Brianna. I'm not sure for who. So if we all just wanted to, yeah, Leslie, thank you for putting your camera back on. So a question from, and actually before we hop right into that, I'm so sorry. You know, thank you, Anna, for your really a great presentation. You know, being and growing up here in the Coachella Valley, like I myself was unaware of all of the different resources the College of the Desert had when it comes or has when it comes to internships. And so it's been really insightful, and I really hope that our audience reaches out to both of you for both your programs. And we'll make sure to include your contact information to our participants so that they know how to get a hold of both of you afterwards as well. So let's now hop over into the Q&A. And, you know, feel free for those attending, just go ahead and shoot them all in there. But first, from Brianna, what industries have success in obtaining unpaid internships? And then also, what age group is typically interested in an unpaid internship?
That's a really good question. It really depends. Sometimes we may have students of all ages, because again, we're a two-year institution. So, you know, in comparison to the WIN Center, we tailor all ages of adulthood. So you may have a student, for example, we have a virtual internship opportunity for students that's unpaid. It's all virtual. We were able to obtain that grant-funded program through Strong Workforce Funds for our college. And although it's unpaid, students have the flexibility of being able to complete that internship in a virtual environment through the supervision of a mentor, all completely online. And we've had students that is their first semester here at College of the Desert, right out of high school, totally did a phenomenal job with that virtual internship opportunity. But then we also may have a seasoned adult learner that's maybe switching jobs. So you don't typically see, I would say, our older student population in unpaid internships, only simply because of the fact that they may already have a job, full-time job, and that's the gap that we're trying to address as well. How do we connect with employers to really help us meet the gap of only offering paid internships? But again, both are equally important. I took on an unpaid internship as part of my bachelor's program, and it really is a conversation that's ongoing on how to address the gap. But to really define, you know, what age group, it can be any age group, to be honest with you, as an adult.
Thank you, Anna. Leslie, is there anything that you wanted to add to that question?
I mean, it's a little different. I know it's a little bit more specific to unpaid, but we do have, I mean, within our program itself, like I said, we're 16 to 24, and typically, the age range that are willing to, or I would assume would be willing to do that would be, you know, anyone from straight out of high school who are just kind of learning to get their foot in the door. They just kind of want to get that help and get that experience as they can. I know when I was younger, I took on an unpaid internship as well, just because I wanted to make sure that I was ready for the workforce, that I had everything that I needed to be successful in it, and it was a learning opportunity for me. So I think we have a number of youth that would, within every age group, that would probably be willing to do something like that. But I could see how it could be difficult with, you know, an older, more seniored employee.
Um, and to chime in, I guess, of my own, I also took an unpaid internship while I was in school with one of our local elected offices. And so I think that that was also a really valuable experience while still in school, and to help really kind of expand my understanding of the political field and the offices. And so I thought that that was invaluable also. I mean, I think Anna, you touched upon it, like unpaid, but like you still get credit for a course or something to that extent. And so that was invaluable. We do have a couple more questions here. How does this all work? No, this is from Robert Fuentes. How does it work for a nonprofit? If a nonprofit's interested, how do both of your programs assist in that?
I mean, I can start. We do work with a couple nonprofits as it is now. For example, Jewish Family Services of the Desert is probably one of our #1 work sites that we have. Additionally, we work with the, Find Food Bank, Galilee Center in Mecca, all kinds of organizations, nonprofit or for-profit. Really with us, it's a pretty seamless transition. It's a really easy process. All we require is a worksite agreement. So it's basically an agreement that's between the Youth Opportunity Center and the place of employment, with the expectations of what it is to be the worksite, that you're going to be providing that hands-on training, that you would treat them as if they were any other employee or your full-time staff, that making sure that you're adhering to state, federal laws, child labor laws, things like that. And it's really just a couple questions, federal tax ID numbers and things like that. But for us, it's really just an agreement, not necessarily a binding contract. If at any point an employer wants to no longer work with us, or maybe doesn't have the need for an intern or anything like that, it is a quick conversation and it's done. Typically we do get the work agreements for the project year. Some of them, as we all know, employers have seasons. They have a slower season, they have a more of their busier season. So I have a couple work sites like that as well, that are only available for certain times throughout the year. But I mean, the beauty in it with working with us is that we're pretty flexible to whatever it is that the employer needs, and whatever either onboarding or special requirements that you need from us, I'm happy to work with it.
And pretty similar on our end for everyone. Through the enrollment of the work experience program, we do have similar agreement, and I like to consider it an educational agreement for our employers that states the student is enrolled in XYZ course. They're working on these 3 objectives. They're earning academic credit, and they're required to complete X number of hours based on the units that they wish to earn. And in that, they're also going to exemplify those 10 different soft skills within their work environment. All 3 parties sign off on that agreement, which include the student, the student supervisor at the placement, and also the faculty advisor. And similar to what Leslie mentioned, we don't have, just because we're assisting you with potentially placing an intern, it doesn't mean that you're bound to keep them for that duration of the semester. If it's not the right fit, it's not the right fit. Although for the student, they are aware that if they are enrolled in a work experience course for their internship, should they be terminated or it didn't just work out, we as an office assist them in perhaps choosing or giving them resources to point them in the direction of a different job placement that may better be a best fit for that student. And if it's just not, it's towards the end of the semester and that placement didn't work out, unfortunately, the student does lose out on earning academic credit. But as far as the employer, there's no negative impact or anything like that. In fact, we all as employers want the cream of the crop, but it doesn't always turn out that way, just the same way as your own regular hiring that, you bring on board and it's just may not work out. You will have those situations, but it still gives you an opportunity to expand your recruitment with our student population.
Great, thank you. I did see Lexi Fife, he did have a question and was actually quite similar to the one we just answered. About internship placements within nonprofit organizations and if they've been successful. And it sounds that has been answered. And I saw some nods that yes, those placements have been successful. And I'm just going to do one last call for questions before we wrap up. But I think that this has been a very educational and enlightening hour of learning for me, and I'm hoping as well for our participants. And I wanted to take a moment and thank our guest presenters, Leslie and Anna. Thank you both for joining us today, joining the Greater Coachella Valley Chamber and letting us see into your world a little bit about internships and what we as a business community can benefit also from tapping into some of our local youth or just our local community when it comes to staffing shortages or potential permanent staff too. So to our audience, please keep an eye out on your inbox, your email inbox. We will be sending out this recorded presentation along with a copy of our slides and the contact information for our presenters. And just on behalf of the Greater Coachella Valley Chamber of Commerce, we really want to encourage you to stay connected with us. We are here, we exist for you. And so should you as businesses, nonprofits, special districts, what have you, reach out to the chamber for any business resource, for any question you might have. If you need an advocate, we are here for you. There's no question that we can't answer, and we're going to try very hard, and there's no problem we can't solve either. And so, we have so many different resources at our fingertips, and our job is to help kind of navigate you through that and help you as best as we can. So make sure to check your calendar. And if you are interested in attending another GCV Educates seminar, go ahead and check out the events section of gcvcc.org. That's gcvcc.org. And register for the next Educates webinar on February 23rd, which will highlight more workforce resources. So with that, Anna, Leslie, thank you. We really appreciate you taking the time. And to everyone else, have a lovely afternoon. Thanks so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.